Welcome, everyone. This is the February 16th, 2021 combined Joliet City Council meeting. We'll have an invocation by Brother Ed Aaron Bosich from St. John the Baptist Church, after which he'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Gracious God, bless our city and all our surrounding neighbors. Continue to strengthen our mayor and his council as they care and direct the needs of our city. We pray for all who are volunteering their time to administer the COVID-19 vaccine, our compassionate nurses, and Joliet firefighters. We also pray for our Joliet, Will County, and state police officers, military personnel, the staff at St. Joseph Hospital, Morning Star and Daybreak, our funeral directors, street cleaners, waste management, grocery store attendants, bus, train, barge engineers, and bridge tenders. As the day begins to brighten more each day, may we be people of light and kindness towards all, especially those who have lost loved ones due to the pandemic. We ask all of this in your holy and divine name, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Hug. He did notify us he would not be in attendance this evening. Councilman Landy.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
The presentation that was on this evening's agenda is being postponed to the second meeting in May. So next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written with the following change? Remove Council Memo 102-21 from the agenda. That's a resolution approving an agreement for the purchase and sale of real property at 11 East Clinton Street, Joliet, Illinois, 60432.
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve the agenda as written with the removal of Council Memo 102-21. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Landy.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Stacy Alvarado.
Hello, my name is Stacy Alvarado. I'm a resident in the Graywell Club. We went to the planning commission meeting and it seems like Lennar is trying to propose ranches to be built. We have been talking with Lennar from them and he said that he's willing to not build ranches on the homes, the streets that are already 85% built specifically. My street, we have 19 houses. They're all two-story homes between 2,800 and 3,600 square feet. And then there's 7 open lots. And then there's another 19 homes, two-story, 3,600 to 3,300 square feet. So our concern was putting the ranches in those 7 open lots. Supposedly he's agreed to only doing the ranches on the homes or the streets in the back that are not built on at all. So we were just hoping that that's what is going to be passed tonight.
Mayor, can I have a question?
Yeah.
Are you part of the homeowners association?
No, our homeowners association board was not notified of this. We addressed that at the planning meeting and he really didn't have an answer why they weren't.
So they've never met with you or asked your opinion?
Mm-mm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none. Next, under appointments, tonight the mayor is recommending Dr. William Bromer be appointed to the Tree Advisory Board. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Landy,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is council committee reports. First is the CTIS committee report.
Okay, on Wednesday, February 3rd, the CTIS committee met in the PD community room. In attendance were Councilman Turk, Councilwoman Gavin, David Brainer, and Chris Sternal, and myself. We discussed the Axon Taser software final contract. The Joliet PD is currently contracted with Axon for 175 in-car camera solutions. The JPD is currently equipped with tasers that are nearing the end of life. Today, we are contracted with Axon for interview rooms, digital evidence storage, and in-car video systems. This program will equip 240 officers with the Taser 7, which is the most current taser, plus a software suite, cartridges for the tasers, and training cartridges. Included also is a virtual reality training, which will put the officers in some situations where citizens that may have mental illnesses or other non-criminal behaviors and learn how to deal with those better, more from a mental standpoint. The funding is within the JPD budget for technical services, and the CTIS committee approved this to go forward with the full city council for a $3.5 million contract to Axon for a 4-year coterminous agreement. I believe the city, or public safety also has reviewed this contract, so they'll be commenting, I'm sure. Did anything else on that? Okay. We also reviewed the DARCA contract, which is our software for citations and adjudication, for the citations. We currently are in a 3-year agreement with this company, and we are reviewing to renew for 2 more years, the same terms and a 10% increase in fee structure from the prior year. This was also approved by the committee to go before the full council. And then the last thing we reviewed was GIS, which is Geographic Information System, which is basically mapping. This system is very key to the day-to-day operations of the city, including but not limited to like the water department, the economic development, neighborhood services. We're evaluating what level of redundancy is needed to protect the loss of data, productivity, and to best mitigate the risk of a problem with the system. That's all I have. I don't know. Mike, you?
I've got nothing.
Okay. So that's our report.
Economic Development Committee report.
Councilman Hugg's not here. He has the flu, so I'm not sure if anyone's prepared to give a report from that meeting.
Yeah, well, you know what, Mayor, we met on the 7th of February here in the council chamber, myself along with Councilman Hugg and Councilman Landy. We only had a couple agenda items, and one of them, we just had some discussion about the property at 11 East Clinton. And the other item is Councilman Hugg asked to be moved to the land use and legislative, dealing with some of our stores here in the city in the TIF district. So that's gonna come to the land use and legislative committee at one of our near future meetings. That was pretty much it, right?
Yep.
From Landy, there's nothing you wanna add? Yeah, so.
Okay, thank you.
that was it. Yep.
Finance Committee report.
The Finance Committee comprised of Councilwoman Reardon, Councilman Mudrin, and myself met at 5:30 this evening here in the council chambers. Very routine. Also in attendance, was Jim Gadati and Kathy Franson. Very short agenda, mostly routine items. We reviewed the monthly financial report. So for the month of January, our revenues were up 6%, but our expenses were also up 6%. So we came out on a wash for the month of January. I think it'll be different in February with the expenses we're having with snow removal and contracted and services for snow removal with our own personnel expenses. We also reviewed the personnel summary, invoices, paid report, found them all to be in order and recommend their approval.
Thank you.
Land Use and Legislative Committee report.
Yes, the, excuse me, Land Use and Legislative Committee met on the 3rd of February here in the council chambers. Myself, Councilwoman Quillman, Councilman Landy. We had a few items. One was the honorary street change for Dr. Timothy Bailey, which the committee moved to approval. That should be at our first meeting in March for the full council to act upon that honorary street sign. Dr. Bailey is a lifelong resident here in Joliet, medical doctor that came back to Joliet to practice his, what do you call it, his field, his profession here in Joliet. So that would be acted upon in our March meeting. We also had discussions, I believe it's not on the agenda either. It'd be, I guess, discussed later, the public alley closure policy was, we had some discussion of that. We also had an agenda item of the resolution authorizing the conveyance of the neighborhood stabilization plan for property at 201 Ottawa Street. That was moved to be approved for the full council, and that should be coming before the council in the near future too. I'm not sure, I believe it's gonna be in the March meeting. One of our first meetings, the March meeting. It's a lot that was vacant that would be purchased by the neighboring residents. We also had a couple ordinance amending one of our code for truck parking. One is truck parking as well as the pilot program and truck terminal facilities that both was moved with approval from the committee to the full council to incur charges for the, as I said, for the truck parking, the pilot program, as well as truck terminals, to capture some revenue back to the city for those properties. We had much discussion with some of the residents of our police department, Citizen Review Board. Mr. Regis had kind of put together a review board, and he was unable because of it was under the weather, was here, so that was tabled for a future meeting in the hopefully real near future. We did get some feedback from some residents as well as some committee members, so it was much discussion on that. Another agenda item was the laser sites, and that was moved to the full council. That's a ordinance that only police officers can have the laser beams on their weapons, and I hope I'm explaining that good. It was almost 2 weeks ago we had this meeting, and my notes, you know how my notes are, but you all understand. Laser sights, that thing on your gun, and that should only be on police officers' weapons in the city limits. What else did we have? Kennels. We had discussion on that, and that was also, pull, I guess, from the, full council agenda at this time and to be brought back. We had asked staff to do some, more research on what some of the neighboring communities are doing on that. Then we had an ordinance adding, chapter 26 for a mailbox ordinance, just kind of getting that kind of cleaned up where the mailboxes, a lot of mailbox claims come in from, when there's snow and our snow plowing, drivers might hit a hit a mailbox and the claim. So there's just some cleaning up on that ordinance, the location of the mailbox, the height of the mailbox, and what the city will be responsible for. So that will be moved to the full council as well by the committee. We had a city land lease agreement, moved to approve. And this is something that we've done before with this gentleman. He farms this land, and we're just renewing the lease agreement with him in terms of this land. There's not much else you can do with the land, and not even from farming. He does the best he can with it. So the committee also moved to approve this to the full council with recommendation for the council to approve it out far kind of on the west side near Route 30, this particular piece of property. And again, we've done this for a few years now, and let him farm this land. And I believe he's asked to purchase the land, so staff is going to be working with him on seeing if that's something possible that the city can move forward with. I believe that's everything. My committee is, did I miss something or?
No, you already covered,
No.
Terry.
Pretty much it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Public Service Committee report.
Betty, me again? Y'all gonna be tired of me today.
Terry, you did such a great job at the public service as well.
Betty, stop. You know what, we had several items. I'm gonna get Larry for being sick. Councilwoman Gavin and myself, we were here again, as it's been said. Councilman Hug is home under the weather. We had a couple contracts that some of them one was an annual contract that we do with Julie, the one called System for Digging, and that was moved to be approved by the full council. We had another contract that for some work that needed to be done on a valve replacement. We had several change orders and pay estimates and final payments, and they all seem to be in order. A couple of them, we gotten saved a little money in one way or the other, and it came real close to what it was budgeted for. One was just $1,000, I think $1,000 over, and had a ordinance and resolution, one with the state of Illinois for work on the state roads, and we had one drive-through that was really nice. Raising Cane Restaurant will be coming to Joliet on Plainfield Road, and they applied for a drive-through permit, and that was also approved. Everything was approved to the full council. After some discussion on the new and old business, Mr. Ruddy had gave us good news about a program with ComEd that we can finish putting our LED lights in all the city lights, and that'll be a big savings on the electric bill, as I call it, as well as just, what do you say, Betty, the service to them. I guess the lights last something like 20 to 25 years, as opposed to the lights now 2 years, so we wouldn't have to do as much service calls on them, as well as saving on the electricity. So I think that was good news and good program for in the near future. Betty, did I
I think you covered everything.
cover everything?
Yes, you
All right.
did, sir.
Thank you. I think that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the special council meeting held on January 28th, 2021, the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on February 1st, 2021, and the minutes of the council meeting held on February 2nd, 2021 stand approved as recorded. Invoices paid report. It's recommended this report be received and placed on file. Council memo 75-21, position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill the following positions as well as any subsequent vacancies which may occur. 1 parking facilities service 2 position in the parking division of Public Works. 1 equipment operator 2 position in the roadways division of Public Works. 1 civil engineer supervisor CAD in Public Works. 2 summer interns in the engineering division of Public Utilities. Up to 4 summer laborers in plant operations division of Public Utilities. 1 historic preservation summer intern in the community development department. 1 summer intern in the planning division of community development. Up to 14 summer laborers in the roadways division of Public Works. And up to 2 urban forestry interns in Public Works. Council memo 76-21, regular payroll for October 23rd through November 5th, 2020. $3,510,221.99. Council memo 77-21, regular payroll for November 6th through November 19th, 2020, $3,568,082.29. Council memo 78-21, regular payroll for November 20th through December 3rd, 2020, $3,598,482.89. Council memo 79-21, regular payroll for December 4th through December 17th, 2020, $3,647,611.06. It's recommended said regular payrolls be approved. Council memo 80-21, award of contract for DACRA software renewal. Council memo 81-21, award of contract for Axon Enterprise Services. Council memo 82-21, award of contract for the emergency valve replacement at North Broadway Street and Oneida Street to Stipp Brothers Excavating in the amount of $68,550. Council memo 83-21, professional services agreement for the water loss control program to M.E. Simpson Company in the amount of $352,535. Council memo 84-21, amendment number 2 for the Phase 1 engineering services for the Abe Street Bridge over Spring Creek Improvement Project to Willett Hoffman and Associates in the amount of $3,674.21. Council memo 85-21, change order number 13 for the professional architectural and engineering services contract for the Joliet Multimodal Regional Transportation Center to Knight in the amount of $56,000. Council memo 86-21, change order number 2 and final payout for the Richard Street Lift Station Replacement and Sewer Improvement Project to Spees Construction in the amount of negative $45,477.95 and final payment in the amount of $70,287.19. Council memo 87-21, change order number 8 and final payout for the Rock Run and West Park Interceptor Rehabilitation Project to Visu Sewer in the amount of negative $235,750.43 and final payout in the amount of $546,676.93. Council memo 88-21, change order number 1 for the Lambert Street Storm Sewer Improvements 2018 to PT Farrow Construction Company in the amount of $28,044.22 and payment request number 1 and final in the amount of $76,154.73. Council memo 89-21, payment for contractor snow removal for the January 30th, 31st, 2021 snowstorm in the amount of $135,725 to various contractors. Council Memo 90-21, payment for the downtown floodplain levee flood wall design project 2019 to the Department of the Army for the Section 205 feasibility cost share agreement in the amount of $115,000. It's recommended Council Memos 80-21 through 90-21 be approved. Is there a motion to approve said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Mayor, I just have one question.
Yes,
Read that over for me again.
Do we know how much longer we're going to be paying, Clark Burt Smith?
The cases they currently have.
So there are current cases that they currently are working on that they still have. So until those cases are done, we will continue to pay the
Okay, just
the
wanted to know.
invoices. Yep.
Thank you.
It was motioned and seconded to approve said consent agenda items. Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Landy. Motion carried. Under licenses and permit applications, Council Memo 92-21, application for a drive-through permit for a Raising Cane's Restaurant at 3000 Plainfield Road. It's recommended the drive-through permit for Raising Cane's Restaurant at 3000 Plainfield Road be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Landy, Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. There are no public hearings this evening. Moving on, under ordinances. Council Memo 94-21, an ordinance approving a special use permit for a tank truck and tank trailer repair facility with ancillary tank trailer and equipment sales. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Mayor,
yes.
we all received, emails, I believe, from the mayor of Shanahan, Missy Schumacher. And I was wondering if those issues have been resolved with them, because I don't want a bad blood between Shanahan and Joliet. Do we have an answer for that?
I have an answer for that. What the village wants is to delay the entire project until the Route 6 could be widened, which is a IDOT project. We don't have any control over IDOT. We can't even get them to fix the bridge here in Jefferson Street. So in effect, by asking IDOT to widen the street before this project can go forward, it would kill the project. We can't even get them to do a traffic study. As you well know, we have issues with IDOT. I would like to join with Shanahan, the mayor, to be able to try to push IDOT to do some of the things that need to be done, not only in Joliet, but in Will County in general. We've had a lot of issues with them being able to get them to be more responsive to us. So I believe, and based on staff's input, that I can't see the reason to delay this project as though somehow that would bring additional pressure to IDOT when I have a bridge on Jefferson Street that I can't get them to fix.
Right, I was just hoping they would work with us. That was my
Yes,
thought.
absolutely. But, so I know where they're coming from, because they have residents that are upset and concerned about the additional traffic. But again, IDOT hasn't provided additional traffic study, so we believe that this is the right thing to do at this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I've spoken with her about this. Yeah, the concern is that that area of Route 6 goes from 4 lanes down to 2 through Shanahan I-55. It's a legitimate concern. And again, I agree with the city manager. Ultimately, it's a state route. We have to make the improvements there. I would add, though, in all fairness, that Governor Pritzker, with the infrastructure bill that he announced, is pledging over $1 billion to the Joliet area. So I think it's 20 years too late, but it is coming. So I think IDOT has been good partners with the city. I think we need to work with them moving forward. But certainly that type of money is coming into our area is something we all should be proud of, that we're finally going to get some of these road issues addressed that have deteriorated for way too long. But regarding that stretch of Route 6, I agree with Mayor Schumacher, not to stop the project, but that road needs to be widened there.
Well, I wasn't intending to stop in the project, I just want to know if we were able to work with them. So, okay, thank you so much.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 94-21, which is an ordinance approving a special use permit for a tank truck and tank trailer repair facility with ancillary tank trailer and equipment sales?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Landy.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 95-21, an ordinance approving the reclassification of .45 acres located at 1127, 1131 North Broadway Street from R2 Single Family Residential Zoning to B3 General Business Zoning. It's recommended that ordinance be adopted.
One more question, Mayor. Really would like to know why there are no zoning board minutes on this, because the zoning board voted absolutely no. There were 7 members on the board, but only 5 were there that day. They voted unanimously to vote no, and then it went to the plan commission and it passed, but I'm curious why the zoning board minutes were withheld.
Another question, Sabrina, what does the vote total have to be to overcome the zoning board, denial?
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, if I can answer that, not that specific question, but Councilman Quillman is incorrect. Okay, I was in front of the the plan commission. This matter was approved by a vote of 7-1 at the plan commission level.
I am not incorrect, because I'm talking about the zoning board meeting, which I attended and you did not. And Mazzoni was there representing the client.
The
Hold on a
zoning
second. Hold
board,
on,
the
Mike,
zoning
Mike,
board.
hold on.
Excuse me.
Sabrina, could you tell us what happened at zoning and what the vote would have to be to overcome that?
I'm actually going to defer that to Jim Torrey. I wasn't at the zoning board meeting.
Okay, Jim?
No, so you're both correct. There was earlier zoning board case that, Mike and his client was involved with, that they went forward to with the zoning board, and then it never got approved. And they subsequently withdrew it. So then they came back and filed just this application for zoning reclassification with no variance at this time, going before the zoning board. So the zoning reclassification goes to the plan commission. So they're just asking for the zoning change now. They provided some concept plans, but they are only concept plans and they could change. Most likely, anything that develops here will have to go to the zoning board again when they come to some specific site plan that they've settled on. It's my understanding that Mike's client just wants to market the site for commercial, and then once that's all figured out, then they'd come back again and most likely go to the zoning board. But that zoning board case that Councilwoman Quillman's thinking about is just kind of dead. They withdrew that and they came back and refiled just the zoning change.
Thank you. Mike?
Excuse me, if I could just, thank you for Jim Torrey for the explanation. One little further explanation, Councilman Quillman, that's, an earlier zoning case was withdrawn. There was no decision whatsoever by the zoning board, okay? And what we've done in this situation, we have complied with every single request by the council and the plan commission concerning this property. So I recommend approval by the council. Thank you.
And then back to the original question, because this still has to go to zoning then. Assuming that it was withdrawn because it wasn't gonna pass?
No, we had different ideas at that there were some other situations. That's why it was withdrawn, and we went a different way, i.e. the zoning classification. So that's what was before the plan commission.
Okay. And if it were to be denied by the zoning board, does that require a 2/3 vote by the council to override that? No?
Yes, it would be by a supermajority, so 2/3.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Yes,
so I was at that zoning board meeting. So I want to know why there's 2 attorneys here, because Mr. Mazzoni was here representing the clients.
You have a different, there's a different
this
property, Councilwoman
The
Quillman.
tire, this is the tire project on
No,
Broadway?
it's not the tire project. This is the vacant property on Ingalls and Broadway Street.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the property.
No, two separate
Okay,
properties.
whatever, I'm not gonna argue with him. I'd like to table this until this is straightened out.
It's clear, it's right in the agenda.
Mike, there's a motion
what
on
it
the
is.
floor.
I understand.
There is a motion to table. Is there a second? Seeing no second, the motion fails.
Yes, Mike?
No, I have no comment, I just asked a question. Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 95-21, which is an ordinance approving the reclassification of .45 acres located at 1127, 1131 North Broadway Street from R2, Single Family Residential Zoning to B3, General Business Zoning?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Landy?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
No.
Motion carried 6-1.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
that's good. I just want to clarify. So if if the variance fails at the zoning board level, then it would not come to council for
Okay.
a vote. I just want to clarify that.
So, and that still has to happen,
Correct.
okay.
Next is Council Memo 96-21, an ordinance approving the additional house plans for Graywall Club subdivision. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Mayor.
Yes,
I had the opportunity to watch the planning meeting and saw the concerns of the residents. And I did hear from a couple. Although I don't disagree completely with the plans, I disagree strongly with one of the concerns, which I've already met with our staff to look into, which were concerned about additional flooding. So we're gonna look into that. But I also was concerned that in two parts of our report, that it was said that the builder never requested a meeting with the HOA Association to review the plans or just to go over the additional plans. So for those reasons, I would like to table this until they have an opportunity to get together, present it, and hopefully get on the same page. Second?
Yes.
Oh,
It's been motioned and seconded to table Council Memo 96-21, which is an ordinance approving the additional house plans for Graywall Club subdivision. Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Landy?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
I'm so glad that Councilwoman Reardon took my advice because I did talk to her at length today about this and gave her the history of Graywall. So absolutely vote aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 96-21 was tabled. Council Memo 97-21, an ordinance approving additional duplex plans for Lakewood Prairie subdivision. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Landy?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo 99-21, a resolution accepting and placing on file the Joliet Historic Preservation Commission Annual Report for 2020. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Landy?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 100-21, resolution pertaining to city work on state highways. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillen,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Landy. Motion carried. Council Memo 101-21, a resolution appropriating funds for the Phase 1 engineering services for the Abe Street Bridge over Spring Creek Improvement Project in the amount of $3,674.21. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillen,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Landy, Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 102-21 was previously removed from the agenda.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes,
I didn't realize 10221 was a Scott Street deck. Could I ask some questions on that, or is it too late?
it's not too late, but if we're not gonna vote on it, why don't you wait till, it's back on the agenda?
Okay. When's it back on?
I don't know.
When?
It'll be back on March 16th.
Next is Council Memo 103-21, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of an agreement for the lease of a city-owned parcel at the southeast corner of I-55 and Canton Farm for farming. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillen,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon,
Aye.
Councilman Turk,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin,
Aye.
Councilman Landy, Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
Hi, everybody. I'll try to keep this short. I know that I promised you guys executive summaries that I thought would be a little bit better than what they were. We were trying a new process to put it on Legistar. We've had some teething problems with that, so I'm going to go ahead and start just sending you stuff until we can get that up and operational. So I apologize for not getting you something out, but we're working on it, and I think it's going to be a better solution going forward. Additionally, I believe that the fire department's got out about 6,300 vaccinations last week, and that's with the help of the Joliet Fire Department, of course, Councilman Quillman, who's a volunteer giving inoculations out at Joliet Township. So we continue to show a lot of improvement there. We encourage people to get out there and get the vaccinations as soon as they're called. Also, I want to talk a little bit about snow plowing. You know, I want the residents, I believe that we're doing a great job here in the team, but we're running out of places to put snow. So you're going to have to bear with us. We're not going to be able to get everything just quite like you'd like it, or maybe it has been in the past as the snow just continues to build up, and we can expect more over the weekend without let up. Additionally, compounding that is we've run out of salt, not completely run out, but we're down to conserving salt. So we're only using about 500 tons, and right now we're only down to 1,200 on hand. We have 2,800 ordered, but it hasn't arrived yet, and we're doing all we can. But IDOT takes preeminence over us, so any salt that comes goes immediately to the Illinois Department of Transportation, is the first for highways. So I just would like to say that. The governor has declared the state of Illinois a disaster, so hopefully we'll be able to get some funding from the state, and that would help with the added expenses of snow removal, and possibly we're going to explore some of the water main breaks that have taken place here to be able to try to recoup some of our expenses. And last but not least, and so the good news is, I'd like to say that the chief, we're going to make Dawn the permanent chief for the city of Joliet. So I know that she's ill and she wanted to be here today, but I wanted to let everybody know that right away. So hopefully she gets better soon. So if you're watching, Chief, congratulations, and we'll see you here shortly. So that's all. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Next is new business not for final action or recommendation.
Terry?
No.
Ken?
Nope.
Mike?
No.
Herb? Pat?
No.
Jerry?
Nope.
Betty?
Yeah, Mayor, thanks. I just wanted to, I've been following land use and legislation, and I know that they have, they have completed the ordinance on the alley closure. And so I just wanted to know if it's gonna be a possibility, or how soon do we know if the alley in the Center Street area will be back open? Just to put that out there, I know that the ordinance fell in line with the practice that they had been doing with that alley over the last 8 years, so just wanna know if that's.
You know, Councilwoman, I'm taking a look at that because there's been a lot of feedback on that particular issue. So I am concerned with citizens necessarily being able to more or less just close off alleys at their discretion and basically take some of that property, which rightfully belongs to the citizens of Joliet. Do we have people now able to close off cul-de-sacs? Do we have people able to close streets that are their own? And it kind of defeats the planning department's vision of what is for the city of Joliet. So I'd like to do some more research on that before we just go ahead and move forward with any particular closure of an alley, just because the citizens have signed a petition. I think that might be a little bit inappropriate, as it denies the rest of the citizens of Joliet that access. So that's where I'm at right now.
So are you looking at changing the ordinance again, or does the
Yes,
ordinance
I'd like to
stands right now as it is?
Yeah, no, I'd like to review it as it is, so I can't tell you if I want to change it or not. I just want to get some more feedback and do a little bit more research on that to come up with the right answer for the city.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
yeah, I just assumed that it was done because of land use had looked at it, and I was thinking it was coming to us.
Right.
I mean, they put in line the same practice. So, yeah, take a look at it, Jim.
Yes,
And then we'll
yes, ma'am.
discuss it. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
I have a couple issues. I'll start with the snowing, or the snow issues. I agree. I think, obviously, it's been a very difficult winter, a very difficult span. Our street department has been out plowing since Sunday evening at 9 o'clock. It's been a very trying time, but I think they've done very well. I have got a number of complaints. Unfortunately, a lot of the complaints, and it's not just this snow, Jim, the last couple of weeks are coming from the cul-de-sacs in the far west side of Joliet. And our street department doesn't handle those, private contractors do. But with Greg Ruddy and you, I'd like to take a look at what the practices are there. Some of the complaints seem legitimate, that plows will go up to the cul-de-sac and then not enter, and the people inside the cul-de-sac are stuck. I had one individual, him and his wife own their own business. They were unable to get to work for 2 days until the contractors were able to get in and clear things out. So I think those are fair complaints that are coming in regarding that. I also have gotten a number, not complaints, but requests from people who were in the senior snow shoveling program. The 5 snow dates have been taken up. That's what the city contracted for. So they're out for the year. I also know there were a lot of people who wanted to get in that program but weren't able to. It's definitely something, I don't know if we can adjust on the fly in mid-February, but coming in next winter, I would like one of the committees, maybe Public Service, to take a good look at this and look to expand this program and see what kind of resources we could put behind it citywide. Because it certainly is something that people with disabilities or senior citizens need, especially when we get the heavy snow that we had the last couple of weeks. Again, another thing, I think a Public Service or possibly legislative committee is the on-street parking during snowstorms. Whether you agree with the ordinance or not, we passed an ordinance that we don't really enforce, and it's failing everybody. And there's the people who feel that it should be enforced are angry. The people who don't have any place to put their car are angry. So that has to be addressed. It's been kicked around for several years. I really, going into next winter, like to see a solid policy regarding that. The other issue I wanted to bring up, and Sabrina, I'll kind of throw this to you, and then Councilman Morris and the rest of the council. I know at your committee meeting a week ago, there was talk about a citizens review board for the police department. And I know this has been kicked around for a period of time now, beyond last summer. This has been talked about. We did assign Chris Regis to come up with examples and present something to committee for discussion. So my 2 cents on this, and I don't know if I'm off base or not, but we currently have a police and fire board. It's all civilians that are appointed by me and approved by the council. They do all the hiring for police and firemen. They do all the promotions. They will do discipline cases. We'll hear it and get past judgment on police officer discipline if it's brought before them. And I know that the police and fire board is created by state statute. It's not a local ordinance. But would we consider, instead of creating a whole new board, expanding the purview or the authority of the police and fire board to this type of oversight committee that's being kicked around? I'll start with you, Sabrina. Is that something we could do, expand on the state statute?
I believe so, as long as we are abiding by the state statute and not doing anything that we're not prohibited from doing under the state statute. That's something that we can do. We can look into at least.
Terry, I don't know if you want to weigh in, but.
Yeah, you know, man, I've said all along, to me, personally, it didn't matter, and Councilman Lanning and I had this conversation, it doesn't matter what you call the board. I just think that, as you just stated, the board need to have, that board could be the board, just need to have the, you know, as you say, the, you know, ability to do more than, you know, what they're doing now. In terms of working with the police department. If there's some issue that arises in the community to you know, bring, you know, the chief or whomever from the police department for discussion, which I think now that the police and fire board don't do that. It's basically their discipline, from my understanding, is when, you know, the chief comes to them and say, hey, we had this officer and this is the discipline I want to give. I think that the citizens or myself is looking for some type of board, whatever, however you want to call it, review board or liaison, whatever, you know. And again, I've always said it, to me, it's not in the name, it's just what they, you know, are, you know, set to do, what, you know, what they are to do. But I think that that board could be fine if we're able to give them that authority to, you know, do that for the community. And I believe Chris had suggested, you know, to a certain extent, a number of board members. I just think it needed to be one of the things I thought that needed to have more members to give a more, you know, diverse, you know, number of people of the community, what the community is made up of. I believe he had 7, I believe it was, and I just thought that doesn't give enough people, you know, where, you know, and again, there was other things that the community was saying, who chooses these members. Again, I don't know the answer to that. How, you know, I have, me personally, again, have no problem with the mayor choosing, you know, the board members based on, you know, the council input as well as the community input. So those was the 2 things, I guess, was kind of big for me, was, you know, the number of board members and, you know, what their goal is to work with the police department, you know, together, not to be, you know, hit board against the police department at all. That's, you know, what I wanted to bring to the table to see what was done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's something, maybe we can put that proposal together and send it to your committee. You know, again, it's open for input because it's an idea. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they already have some duties, and I think it could be a great idea. It's just as long as, you know, their role is just a little more community oriented, working with the community and what happens in the community, and, you know, and bring back, you know, for, you know, the community to be aware of and for the council to see.
And Herb, you had been the president of that board. Is this something that you thought you could have handled?
Yes and no. The thing, Councilman Morris is bringing up is the Board of Police and Fire are limited to 5. Am I correct, by state statute? You
I'd have
can't
to
make
look
it
at the
7, 8, or
statute.
9, or 10. It's
It might
limited
be
to 5.
right.
So if Councilman Morris is looking to have the board expanded as a liaison board, that wouldn't fit. You follow me, sir?
Yep.
The board's limited, right now, the police and fire board is limited to 5 members. That's a state mandate. Am I right, Sabrina?
Actually, it's 3 mandated by the state. So as long as we have 3, you can have more than 3. Right now we have 5, I believe.
We
I mean,
have
not that
5.
are all filled, but we have
So
5 under our
if you-
ordinance.
And I think the problem with making the police and fire board larger than 5 is there's too many votes. Now, maybe larger than 5 as liaison is better, but you'd have to find a magic number. You can't go 7, 8, 9 guys on the police and fire board for promotions and it just gets too convoluted, don't you think, Mayor? More than 5 for that.
I think 5 may be the city ordinance, but you're saying so liaison positions that don't have votes for those, or genuine, traditional, but for a review capacity, an issue's brought forward by civilians, and they want this board to review it with the police department, that the liaisons, they could step in and fill that role?
Yes, and there'd be 2 separate roles. One would be working with the police department as a community activist. The other would be handling the police and fire board normal daily duties of promoting, hiring, firing, disciplining. Well, I mean, it'd be 2 separate operations, but they both can be under the same label. But certainly what we're looking into, and I believe 100% what Terry's saying is we need to get the citizens involved so that they feel they are part of the system, not the system working against them or vice versa. I'm looking for nothing adversarial. I'm agreeing again with Terry wholeheartedly. Is we're looking for harmony. We want the citizens to be transparent with the police, we want the police transparent with the citizens, and work it that way. Not having the citizen go ahead and how do we discipline the fire department? They can't. They're just not in the way. That's the fire police and fire board. So, but yeah.
Okay.
You gotta have harmony. You just want people getting along, don't you think, Jerry?
Sure, definitely.
All right, we'll put something together and introduce it then at your next committee meeting.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Next is public comments. James Lanham.
Is everyone doing anything? The first thing I heard Councilman Morris brought up the laser sight ordinance. That's something I pointed out to the mayor and the legal department. And that said that laser sights are only usable in shooting ranges. But since then, we've had the introduction of concealed carry and the advent of cheaper laser sight technology. So a lot of people would use them for self-defense. And if they do that now in their homes or on the streets, that they would be violating the ordinance. So we need to either strike the ordinance or update it with more modern language. So, secondly, I'd like to thank all the city road crews. They've been going full speed during this crazy storm, so thank you to them. But the main reason I'm here today is to ask this council to pass a referendum to tell Governor Pritzker to vote no to House Bill 3653, the Criminal Justice Reform Bill. It was dishonestly legislated. It was done in the middle of the night on the last night of a lame duck session by a group of people that I think just want their pound of flesh from police officers. It's dangerous to police officers, law-abiding citizens, and crime victims. Right now, it's hard enough just to get a person arrested. I can think of one person here in Joliet who was arrested 4 times in 1 week for battery, and it wasn't until the 4th arrest that he went to jail. He put someone in the hospital, and he still did not go to jail. And that's only stuff like that's only going to get worse if this new bill passes. Also, I think its provisions on the use of force are unconstitutional. It violates 2 separate Supreme Court decisions, Tennessee v. Gardner and Connor v. Graham. And those basically state that police officers have the right to self-defense and that they're held accountable for the circumstances as they happen. And that bill wants a police officer to decide in the heat of a moment if he or someone else is going to be harmed. Can this suspect be arrested later? Well, by then someone's hurt or dead, and he's worried about being arrested or sued for exercising his constitutional right or the constitutional rights of others that are there. I know there's probably a lot of concern that some civic groups may be opposed to you guys writing the referendum, but I think they're on the wrong side of the issue. And
we should tell Governor Pritzker to veto this bill. It's just, it's bad. It's bad for public safety, victims, police. So I'd like the council, if they consider that either tonight or at a soon-to-come meeting, because he has 60 days to sign that bill, and it's coming up soon, that window. So if we can do that, I'd appreciate it, and I think the citizens would appreciate that too as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in a public comments this evening?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Earl Mays, 1317 Fairview. Real quick, first of all, I just want to say kudos to the Streets and Sanitation Department. As everyone knows, a couple weeks ago, we had a major water pipe that broke in the area, which extended all the way up through Parkwood and a few other communities. And, you know, it was actually right down the street from my house. The tank the main tank sit behind my house. And they did an awesome job. They worked all night, so in the cold weather, and they got it done. I know a lot of the residents, I probably got about 6-7 calls that morning. They were without water. I was without water. And they worked diligently throughout the night, throughout the day to get it done. So my hat's off to them. They really did a great job. Second thing I want to talk about, and I really want to bring this, I've been here before to talk about it, is the marijuana tax dollars that goes towards the city, that is supposed to be going back towards the neighborhood. I know that there was talk that Mr. Dottie said that he couldn't release the numbers of how much money should be going back into the community. I know right now we're in a pandemic, and a lot of our community centers are really hurting to help the residents out with food give outs and things like that matter. I really want this council to put a plan together, whatever, if it's not even including me, I don't care, but put a plan together and find out exactly how much money is coming from the state and how much money can we put back and what kind of plan. We can do scholarships for kids who really had a hard time without being in school. Many things. I think I sent out a brief proposal a few months ago. I think I sent it out to everyone, and I really wish we could look at that. So maybe I talked about it in December, talked about it in January. Maybe next month we'll talk about it again. The other thing is that because of the pandemic, I was a little concerned about something, and this is for you, City Manager. And I read a memo which you dated 2/12/21. It says, part of the memo says, all newly created and open positions, with the exception of subsequent open positions, must be approved by a recruitment of the City Council. And, you know, I was a little disturbed when I saw that 2 positions was created during a pandemic without the council's approval. You know, I understand that, you know, as a city manager, a new city manager, and I'm not taking away from you, that, you know, you really want to do a great job. But I think that it's a slap in the face to the residents to say that no one could apply for those positions because you didn't want to waste anyone's time. Well, during this pandemic, I know hundreds of people, I know many people, I'm gonna say many people, that lost their job, without a job, looking for a job, and very well qualified. I know a young lady who has a master's degree and she's looking for a job, and I'm almost positive she's applied for the city as well. I'm almost positive she sent a resume. But to say that, you know, you didn't want to waste anyone else's time, you know, I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. You know, I know that you want comfortable people around you, but you also want to be able to, you know, be the equal opportunity employment that you state on the website. So to say that no one else could have applied and you didn't want to waste anyone's time, I don't think that's right. And I'm man enough to say it and tell you, I don't think that's right. You can take it how it goes, your decision, but it's our dollars that pay for those positions. And so moving forward, I know many people have applied before the city and they have not gone, they never got a call back or anything.
You're over the 4-minute mark. Can you wrap it up, please?
Okay, yes, sir. So, you know, as we move forward, I just would like to be cognizant of that. So Mayor, thank you for this time. City Council, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Next is mayor and council comments.
Terry?
No, sir, no.
Dan?
Enough can't be said about our crews that are out there. I didn't get one complaint about the snow. I got more complaints about the garbage than, about the snow plow. So thanks to all the guys that were out there in that cold weather and on both events, and it's still coming. So thanks, guys. Great job.
Mike?
Yeah, you know, lately there's been several announcements about, different businesses and projects coming on West Jefferson Street. And I think we're on the cusp of the revitalization of Jefferson Street, which has been a long time coming. And the one eyesore is, mentioned before, is Senior Tequila. And I know the owners were here and they asked us not to put them on the, public nuisance list. However, the city council did in fact do that. I thought they were weeks away from the demo of that building, which nothing's happened in 4 years and nothing's happening now. So I don't know, Jim, can you get us a status report on that? Because I think they're just stringing us along like they have for 4 years. And as long as that eyesore is sitting there, nothing in that immediate area is going to happen. And I know that the old pie shop there went up for auction the other day. I don't know what happened, but I'm sure it didn't have the effect it would have if that was gone.
All right, Councilman, I will immediately check in to find out what's going on with the Senior
Thank you.
Tequila and whether or not that's on a nuisance and what we can do to expedite that
Thank
at this
you.
point. I know that they have been stringing us along for quite a while, so I'll get cracking.
Thank you. That's it.
Herb?
No, nothing. Thank you.
Pat? Terry?
I would like to say another thank you. We did this the last time too, but, we can't thank the, fire department for all their hard work and all the volunteers, the nurses. Again, Jan, I heard you've been there every day, for all that you're doing to get the vaccinations out there. Thank you so much. And again, I will say thank you to our hardworking guys and women out there that are doing the streets, because, today, you know, I thought we were going to be, who's going to be making it to work, and everybody showed up at my office. The streets were ready to go, and thank you very much for making that happen. I know what hard work it is, so thank you.
Eddie? Yeah, I'll just echo Councilman Reardon's comments. Again, thank you to Street Department. Thank you to the workers at MMD who are keeping the plows up and running. And again, Jan, I know you were singled out a couple times, but what our Joliet Fire Department is doing at Joliet West with the help of volunteers like Jan Quillman, there's other medical professionals out there, is a story that I don't think can be understated. And quite frankly, I'm not sure where we would be with vaccines, but for the efforts of the firemen who are all off duty, who are up there volunteering day after day, and people like Jan Quillman. I think the number was 6,900 vaccines so far. We're a couple weeks into it. These are school teachers, frontline personnel, medical professionals, and now seniors. So just an outstanding job, a real credit to our city, I'm going to give my speech next week, the state of the city, and I'm going to obviously speak a lot about COVID. And the leadership position that our city has taken through this entire period, it's going to be outlined, but this is the latest example. I really, really am proud to be the mayor of a city where we have people who are willing to step up day after day and do whatever they can to save lives in Joliet. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice again, but it's a great story, and I echo your comments. Thank you very much.
Mayor, can I just tack onto that?
Yeah.
Again, enough cannot be said about Deputy Chief Jeff Carey. He was the one that got this plan together, and if it hadn't been for him, we wouldn't be doing what we are today with the volunteers and the fire department gentlemen taking off their day off, and you know, the school nurses that have also pitched in to help. And Jeff Carey's been there every day, and the chief of the fire department, Blasky's been there as much as he possibly can. And there's other departments in other areas and municipalities that are coming down to see just how we're doing it, because people cannot believe how quickly we're getting them through. It's just amazing. You have to come and just observe it, what the plan is, and it's like a regular assembly line, and people are just so happy to get the vaccine without having to wait in long lines. They have appointments in other places, and they have to wait in line still for 3 hours. But, again, it all goes to Chief Carey and, the fire department because it's phenomenal. Can't say enough.
Thank you. Yes,
I
sir.
think I heard today, Chief, you wanna give me a minute, Chief? Sorry. I think they had another landmark day today. How many did you do in one day today, sir? If you wanna tell the citizens and the council.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Manager. Today in 5 hours, we did 935. Our goal tomorrow in 8 hours is to do roughly 1,300. Once we get completely rolling, we're hoping that we're gonna hit right around 1,000 per day. So we're 12 days into this, and today we were at 7,257 vaccines. We know we kind of started slow a little bit, but again, to echo what has been said here, the volunteers that have come out, our guys, both locals that have just contributed so much of their time. Jeff has taken the ball and just run with this. Between him and Dr. Strokamp, a great plan. But it wouldn't work without all the volunteers we've had. All the nurses from whether locally or the school districts that have provided this. This is what's making this work. The citizens are extremely happy. Mayor, as you mentioned, is this week we started the 65 plus. Both Monday and Tuesday, about 95% of those that came through the door were the 65 plus group. So we're hoping to hit even more of those and get those taken care of as quick as we can.
And I got one more question. Are you getting ample vaccines? Do you have enough supply?
We are. We have been getting, the first 11 days were all Moderna, and now the county is providing us with Pfizer. We'll just have to keep that separated as we go to give the second shot, but we already have a plan in place for that to happen.
And you might add, Chief, that we have not wasted not one single dose.
Not a single dose has been wasted throughout this event.
That's great news.
That's something to be very proud of.
Agreed. Good work. Thank you.
Something to be very proud of.
I did not receive a request for closed session, so is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.